It seems like everything is working. So we'll do a little bit of, oops. Oh, I need to change the game capture. That's what's wrong. Well, there's the game audio. I thought I already did this, but clearly I did not. I don't really remember what was going on, other than we were at the sun. Or the artificial sun, technically, but, you know. Because we were done with the clockwork sun. We were gonna... Oh, cool. The clockwork sun counts as a horror. It looks like the audio mixing's good, though. So... kind of just exploring at this point. And we know the clockwork sun makes things turn into glass, and that's... weird. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Journal. So we need to go back to New Winchester. Okay. They're reckless. Oh, we gotta explore areas here to find their thing. They're somewhere. We need supplies to talk to him. We're not there. Get to Perdence. Okay. So she needed to go to Perdence as well. She's currently in London, though. He's currently in London, though. Find the final untranslated Skylark sign in Achilles. Initiate of Carlilian. Okay, and this is all... this one we need to go to Eagle's Empyrean for the graveyard. Cage Catch. Okay. We can be a politician. That's fun. Smugglers ply their secret trade in the sky. Midnight Rose and Tatiana to learn why there have been no deliveries. Massive Sawtooth Persnickety Bat is in red. The Kai wishes to build something at Faith's Fall. Bronzewood. 6 pieces of bronzewood and 5 spare crew to Faith's Fall in the Reach. Okay. It's actually not too hard to get bronzewood when we're back there. Conspiring with the cult, that's right. Oh, I need to return there at some point for a reward. The Dazzled Sequencer. His attempt to inflict kindness upon the needy. Deliver the well-intentioned package to the Brabson work world. Okay, I think we know where that is. We need to get 3 ministry stamp permits. Okay. We now have some direction of what we're doing. Outside of, I don't know, just fucking explore, my dudes. We do not have a saying, so... Okay, you found nothing. So... Huh. Guess we'll explore this way. And, I guess make our way back to somewhere. Oh, we should probably actually be heading back to London through this, like, black path of the map. So that we have more understandings of ways to get back to London. Because London is our hub world in Albion. Excuse me. I think that is one of the complaints I have about this game, is the dead air of travel. And the only reason it's a complaint is because I'm streaming. And sometimes my brain doesn't know what to really talk about while we're just kind of meandering. Albion really has, like, wild soundtrack, though. And some wild locations. I mean, we know that the star is dead, who was the sun, and now there's an artificial sun. And we know that our curiosity quest has led us to try and find an old friend who we can't find where they're supposed to be, and something has most likely happened to them. I think living in London, especially in this universe, would be pretty awful. I feel like London gets a lot of shit in media, though, as, like, an awful place to live. And maybe I'm being skewed against what it's actually like in London. But also, that would require me to be able to travel just outside of the country alone. Which is expensive. Okay, we're in London. It'll be time to, fix our supplies a bit. Oh. I'm smart. I didn't notice there was somebody in that one. Okay. Your aunt is here? Dear God, indeed. What the fuck? Dear God. Somehow she had found her way to the high wilderness. She is trying to get your attention with the frantic waving of her horrible hat. I know you've seen me. Listen, quite exhausted my possibilities here. I am a serviceable quartermaster. I have friends everywhere, and my scones are to die for. Here's that for the curriculum vitae. Now, let me aboard. Is she your real aunt? Either way, you'll have to deal with her. Well, we have a new quartermaster who is our aunt. She smiles with sincere delight. Here, take my bag. Her bag is very heavy. And my hat. Her hat is also very heavy. Okay. Your crew are alarmed when she boards your engine. Their alarm only increases when she begins to pass comment. After a thorough survey of your locomotive, she graces you with a smile. There is work to be done. She has extracted gossip from you before she had us even boarded. This woman is skilled. Okay. Okay. Wander the streets and, yeah, nothing. Okay. Check on the signal man. No, we're not going to pick him up. We'll let him be. Need to wait more time before we can do hers. Okay. So this is where you can trade stuff for sovereigns and experience. Okay. How... So I have 3. We get these pretty consistently. Sure. Now... We're at max crew, so we're really just... Let's deliver port reports. New street... So I needed a gratitude of 4. Okay. Oh, you need an invitation to get into Purdon's? I mean, we already know we need to go to Purdon's. Okay, yeah, let's get an invitation. Oh, I already had one? Fuck. Well... Sometimes you don't realize that, and it has been quite a bit since we last were here. Is this where we gotta go to sell shit? Okay. There's no way we need all 5 of these dried caddies, so I'll keep 2. Gonna sell these. We'll sell our hours. Sell the crockety. Keep the literature. Sell. So now we have inventory space. Let's get ourselves up to 5. Well, let's get 6 supplies total, because it will be 5 very shortly after we leave port. So shipyard. So those would be less. Better health, bigger crew, different type of weapon, extra shield plating. But, I think the one we want is just back at the Reach, honestly. Because we increased our capacity. Yeah, I think we're... London was a very short stop, but it did get us some supplies that we were going to need. So, I think we got to explore to the east over here. Oh, nope. That one. We need to talk to... She has taken over one of your nicer cabins, which she has ruthlessly redecorated. There is a preponderance of ugly ornaments balanced precariously on tiny tables. Hideous Anti-muscas adorn every available surface. Your aunt occupies a felt armchair in the center of the center. Ooh. Where she spends her time either knitting or solving truly mind-boggling cryptic crosswords. Converse with your inconvenient aunt. I'm rather busy, she insists. Perhaps if you tell her something ghoulish, she'll pay attention to you. Good Lord, are you all right? She immediately bakes you a batch of scones. She doesn't even comment on the order in which you apply the jam and the cream. I guess that is something people would be very particular about. I know what will cheer you up, she says briskly. I've been invited to a little soiree by Bunty. She pauses. An old school friend. I think she's head of the deniable constables now. You'll come with me, won't you? It'll take your mind off of things. She considers for a moment. I must warn you. It is a very particular evening. Old enmities put aside. That sort of thing. It's at Carillion. Okay. Carillion is a destination we will be heading to. Oh, just an idle thought, she says, presenting you with a new batch of sourdough loaves. She frowns at the consistency of the bread, as though she expects it to get its act together sharpish. But if you wish to make use of my full arsenal of talents, you might want to grant me shore leave at the most serene mausoleum. Her eyes gleam behind her hour-rimmed spectacles. I have ideas, but if you think I am more valuable aboard your engine, that's up to you. So she will generate barrels of unseasoned hours if she is at the most serene mausoleum, which I'm guessing is a much later game area than we have reached. We're gonna go this way. Enduring something. Wow, they're great pilots over there. Glorious Dreadnought. I guess we're going... Well, no, we need to explore to the east. So we're going to go to the east. Because I think the southeast area is the biggest chunk of map we haven't explored. And we do need that. Also, it took us a while to get a full crew, but now we have 2 members in all roles, even if they're not on the ship right now. So... Oh! Wait, what's this place? I mean, it's a place where you can put off your port reports, obviously. But I want to visit it. See what I can glean from it. Oh, the Ministry of Public Decency. Okay. The Royal Horological Office. Tick, 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 Albion's heartbeat. Clocks of diverse size and shape line the walls of this small, gray office. Each is methodically tuned by a royal horologist and inspectors as practice for the thankless, complex task of ensuring the consistency of time across Her Renewed Majesty's territories. Oh, wow. He sits hunched in a thick gray blanket, his crow-like stare fixed on a disassembled clock. Its gears are almost too small for the eyes to see. One empire, one time, one date. Huh. Time change, I have heard. Well, not if I have any say in it. He reaches for a pair of tweezers, the pincers barely thicker than a human hair. The time in London must be the time in Brabson, in Warlbury, in New Winchester, in Lustrum. to the second. It is the privilege and duty of this office to ensure that he sniffs. A task that was considerably easier before we began spending hours like shillings and sixpences. Now it might be yesterday in one place and next week in another. It is most untidy. From the side, it is a polished wonder of values, pendulums, and cogs working in perfect harmony. A breathtaking work of engineering. Only the finest engineers were permitted to work on it. Every component is encased in polished glass. The hands, sharp enough to slice paper, slide between the exquisitely carved numerals with buttered smoothness. Only the second hand is permitted to jump from moment to moment, and it does so with the precision of a military march. It's just for tourists, of course, grumbles a bleary-eyed apprentice. Albion's time really based on the old tick-tock man's pocket watch. He keeps us straight, except that time on his 19th birthday when he had one too many and the whole of Albion lost 2 hours. Okay. They all have the names of ports within Albion in the Reach. Lustrum, Brabson, Port Prosper. The current time is right now. Despite the vast distances involved and the complicating efforts of local hour usage, all of the clocks show the same time. Each of London's territories is expected to run on Albion Standard Time. But London is a long way from them. Despite being a commandment from the Empress's own lips, it is a law more often breached than observed. Their use remains poorly understood. Modest adjustments. The chief horologist doesn't bother to hide the wariness in his voice. No, despite the imaginative claims of certain penny dreadfuls, hours can't take you back to yesterday, nor leapfrog tomorrow. But with the use of hour looms, a week's journey can be made to take a day, or a prisoner can endure the 10 years of his sentence within only 1 year passes outside his cell. A work world can perform a month's labor in a week. A lifespan can be stretched. The Empire, madam, runs on hours. Okay? A job for serious people. The chief horologist looks surprised at your inquiry. Horologists tend to be cut from a specific cloth, a rather grayer fabric than that worn by a skyfarer. However, you have the right to take the examination if you wish. He blows the dust off a textbook and bids you sit down. No calculation devices or writing implements are permitted. Okay. The chief horologist peers over the book. If the current time in Prudence is exactly 1750 of the clock, and the time in Albion is 1834, what, pray tell, is the current time in Lustrum? Fuck if I know. 1934? I don't know. That is your answer? Very well, we shall continue. And now, a trick... The last one wasn't a tricky one? The chief horologist coughs. The train from the Brabson Workwell arrives at London 11:30. The current time shown on the master Brabson clock is... He winces. 14:30. If the train took exactly 1 hour to make the journey, it does not, of course, I merely offer this as a hypothetical for the sake of testing. What was the accurate time of its original departure from the work world? Okay, so the current time shown, if the train took exactly 1 hour, it would have been 10:30, right? Interesting, very interesting. He pauses for a moment before writing your answer down. You wait patiently for several minutes, but the third question doesn't seem to be coming. The chief horologist's eyes have drifted closed. A thin string of drool dribbles from his otherwise dry lips as he snores. Oh yes, excuse me. He glances at your answers. Oh dear. Well, I see little point continuing with the 248 questions. I'm afraid you simply don't have what it takes. Do not be chastened. A pause. Perhaps a little chastened. There is only one clock of Albion. All else is inaccuracy. In 1 month's time. Okay, well, I'm gonna fucking cheat next time we take that and just look up the goddamn answers. The Office of Works is a bustling bureaucratic enigma. Behind its red-bricked flanks and toil numberless clerks and surveyors. What mysteries lurk within the memoranda it chites and it recites? What, exactly, are its eponymous works? No one is sure. But in a drowsy loading bay, an unflappable foreman purchases supplies to complete outstanding work orders. The Office of Works, God bless her. Has very particular requirements. Very particular. Let's have a look. It needs 2 carefully packed crates of munitions and a condemned experiment. Okay. So I need weaponries. A huge horseshoe-shaped building of white stone, white columns, clocks, and iron gates. Inside, its walls are paneled with dark wood. Crimson carpets, worn by frequent passage, flood the floors. Within its cubbyhole offices, auditors toil to protect the sensibilities of Londoners here in the heathen sky. This is literally just... Okay. You cross the foyer and approach the secretary ensconced as a teak desk. She listens to your request with a thoughtful frown. I'd love to arrange an appointment for you with one of our auditors, obviously, but my hands are tied. Bureaucracy, you understand. She rolls her eyes, looks around conspiratorially, then lowers her voice. Best thing for someone like yourself to do is to gather reports on nearby ports. I'm sure the information office would love to hear them. Then I could pop your name in this little book, and up you go. Okay. So you literally just need port reports. Okay. So, good to know. I guess we're gonna go southeast instead of east-south. Yeah, and it is important for anybody who didn't catch. I won't be streaming tomorrow because I forgot I have a TRPG thing I'm doing. And then on Thursday, we're going to watch Season 2 of Power Rangers for a Discord hangout. Which, as the name implies, means it will happen in the Discord server. Uh, the clock ticking is very disconcerting, actually. The hair grows amber with dust blown from the crags. Oh hey, some extra fuel. Fuel. Okay, there is a port on the other side of this wall. So hopefully I'm going the right way to get around it. McFarlane's Gran. I don't know what that accent was. It definitely wasn't right, whatever it was. Okay, this looks like more of the stuff you'd see in the Reach. Okay. Interesting. Oh, but it's doing it through this, like, thing. Oh, this is a interesting dock. Fieri. Pretty mansions of stone and glass arrive above the verdant gardens, while below, machines whir and groan. A persistent sound of hammering pounds through the air. Oh, hey, it's Mr. Menagerie. Mr. Menagerie gestures to the arms world. Out beyond the cozy confines of the Royal Society, old ground, hunting ground. When wings spread free and soared, and we were indigo in tooth and claw. Are those teeth you can see below the hood? When the skies were young, when we were young. Our bargains were savage, our hunts were scarred. Sacred. Our hunts were sacred. We lifted all wings, our appendages... Appentities? Naked. All gone now. Things change. Time takes all. Okay. Let's see. He is next headed to... We go to the throne of the Hour King. Not to be confused with the Hall of the Mountain King. To the delight of mostly himself, the malfurious president is planning an exhibition in the Royal Society. Its theme will be the science of the skies. He's happy to pay visiting captains for items of interest they might come across. So... I know that we need to keep one of these. If it's going to be 5, that'll leave us with 2. So I think that's... We donate one more because, you know, why not? We still have one. I know we're going to need some of these, but we have 5, so let's sell 2. I think that'll be a safe number. And we'll just sell this. The Royal Society. The words Nolius in Verba are written across the stonework above the great bronzewood doors. Her renewed majesty has granted these grounds to the finest minds in Albion to work here. Their purview is to invent, to hypothesize, to discover, and, most crucially, to watch the stars. The President greets you. He directs your attention to the new marble on the floors, to the cheerful portraits of distinguished Royal Society members lining the hallway, and, finally, to the very large portrait of himself in his plush library. We do little captains. We do like captains here at the Royal S. We need our space and, frankly, our comforts to think. But it is you brave souls who do the real legwork. Extremely educational. If not, our gardens are extremely fine, as is our conversation and the port. Okay. Oh, a 31% chance of success? Yeah, no thanks. We're good. Hello, Captain. Do come in. Come in. The Malforious president steeples his fingers. On his desk, middle suns suspend from silver frames clack in the breeze. Now, are you here about work, or do you consider the term vulgar as well? I send reports back to London periodically, but we can't be everywhere. So much to do, so little time. Places of particular solar activity will do nicely. Oh, he wants specific port reports from places. Okay. So, from the sun, from the House of Rods and Chains, which I don't think I've ever been to, and the circus. Okay, well, we don't need invitations to Purdons right now, so we'll just, goodbye. Write a port report. The Royal Society hums with activity. The preparations for a new wing of Airy House are in motion. The Maleficus president is conveying another committee to continue the renovations of the garden. The astronomers are excited about a star of burnished amber seen far in the east. The Rochester Club, regrettably, continues at high speeds. Okay. Oh, wow, we got a lot of places, actually, to visit. A sign on the door in neat copper plate reads, Neil's Tower. Or, no, that'd be Nell's Tower. Nell's Tower, closed for the 13th annual Airy Dinner. Leave urgent business at a doorstep. There is a polite cough at your shoulder. Turning, you see a tall man with a beard like a nest of vipers. The supercilious bursar introduces himself. I came to round up stragglers, but as a captain, you are a rank of sufficient to attend the dinner, if you wish to attend. There will be port, Captain. Okay. Okay. I'm getting cannibalism vibes off of this dinner. I could be wrong, but so far we haven't found a cannibalistic society in this game, and I know there's at least one. in Sunless Seas. The dinner is held in the mahogany of the marble imperial dining room of Airy House. Every piece of the dinner service is mismatched, and both the furniture and the personages in the room are pleasantly rumpled. The supercilious bursar brings you to the high table, where the 3 senior astronomers of Nell's Tower are holding court. You are introduced to the sanatorial professor, the chair of the efflugent sciences, and the lecturer for imperial affairs at the first course is served. Let's dine on the game pig so we get the supplies. The meat is rich as the Burgundy Reach wines popular in the salons of London these days. It has been cooked in its own juices. Now the flesh is as tender as the reassurances of one of Magdaleine's attendants. Canticari, don't you know? The lecturer of imperial affairs remarks, slicing into her own portion. The first course ends with a great smacking of lips and a general feeling of goodwill towards the chef. The supercilious bursar passes the dish of buttered potatoes with an oily smile. Ooh. Oily smile sounds gross. The conversation continues, lubricated by Herculean quantities of port, buttered potatoes, roast squirmings, and sauté Iberian mushrooms are devoured in between rhetorical thrusts. I don't want to talk to the devil's advocate. We're going to talk to the lecturer in imperial affairs. The lecturer keeps her voice low and produces a pen from her iron bun. She scribbles on her napkin as you explain your recent history. They resent me here, you understand. I have a direct appointment by Her Majesty's government. They dislike being reminded who holds the purse strings. The second course ends with the lecturer in imperial affairs telling a rather ribald joke and a hearty toast to the continued health of all present. Sherbets produced in London's sweet shops, sponge cakes from the Admiral Nelson on Port Prosper, clotted cream and actual strawberries grown in the gardens, more port. The conversation grows looser, the stories more risque. The supercilious bursar leans in conspiratorially. I arrange these dinners to promote unity. You understand. And of course, for the good memory of our precious president, who nobly argued for the introduction of the society to the wilderness, and convinced Her Majesty of our utility. He toasts the large portrait of Airy that dominates the room. I mean, I want to learn more about imperial affairs now. She tops you up and attempts a wink. Never waste a drop of wine, as governess used to say. She sighs. Oh, I kind of want wine, guys. I might go grab some wine. I have it in the fridge. We got about 12 minutes till the next ad break. I'll just do it then. She sighs. I know that the Bursar's up to, distracting us from the fact that London's got us pointing the telescopes at a dead corner of the sky. A matter of national security, they say. Got the wrong coordinates, if you ask me. Anyway, until they say we can move it, our studies are on hold. The third course comes to a close with a great groaning and heartfelt but false protestations that one couldn't possibly manage cheese and biscuits after all this. It sounds like an awful big meal. I don't like big meals, personally. The supercilious bursar leans in as the plates are cleared away. Before we adjourn, there's the question of patronage to consider. All eyes are on you. A hush falls over the table. The three faces of the astronomers are turned to you. The supercilious bursar continues as though nothing has changed. Our telescope is operated only by the will of the government. We are not allowed to move the telescope without permission. A bold skyfarer, such as yourself, might obtain such permission, or at least an official-looking document that could be conceivably construed as permission. Our astronomers would be very much interested in patronizing you. You bring them a permit, they can advise their researches. In exchange, they'll teach you what they know. I mean, I really like Imperial Affairs just with the way she is. She smiles with something approaching genuine pleasure. Marvelous. Quite marvelous. Come to the tower whenever you wish to begin. Make sure you have a permit, mind. Okay, so we need a permit, which is ministry stamped permit. Okay. Well, let's observe the clockwork sun. The sun rays shine from Albion's farthest corner to London in all its glory. Gold as bright as a king's hoard burnishes the empire's radiance. The sun never dims. You draw away, dazzled. Okay. Well, now we know. The Rochester Club. A cozy country house bolted onto the side of the society's glass houses and overgrown lawns. This is the meeting place of the infamous Rochester Racing Club. Oh, the driver wants to be left here. We're not using him, but we're trying to complete his thing, so we're not going to do that because we're working on his quest in this area specifically. The dismal debutante curls her lips. The boisterous Heridian cackles. The current Lord Rochester laughs gamely, before abruptly stopping. Oh, you are serious? He coughs to conceal his embarrassment. Well, should you really wish to join our merry company, you have to prove yourself a proper racer. The careless deviless, in her smoked velvet jacket, appraises you carefully. You'll need to prove your mettle, my dear. Win one of our races, and we'll be happy to admit you. Okay. Lord Rochester claps you on the back. Good sport, that. The rules are simple. Get to the destination port and back in 15 days. Then you can call yourself a true Rochester racer, say? He calls for orders in the club room and gathers the other racers round. A quick toast is raised to your health, and then it's on with the race. Where are we going? Reach floating parliament and return. Okay, but we have 15 days, so we just set ourselves on a very specific task. Smoke and soot, glass and steel, the ring of hammers on metal, the swearing of engineers, the acrid scent of sweat, here in the bowels of Portsmouth House, the scientists of the Royal Society working to produce experimental designs for daring captains. A team of engineers led by the energetic mechanic are excited to get the work on, whatever you'll pay them for. Oh wow, there's a lot of things we can do here. Holy shit. So how does this work? Pieces are much abandoned as finished are stored in this long gallery. Equipment gleams behind glass cases, like exhibits in a technical-minded museum. Take your time, the energetic mechanic says, leaning against the wall. Just let me know if I can be of any assistance. Okay. So these are like special gear, obviously. Expendable harden. What does that do? Acquires your vels at. Ooh. Well, we aren't going to have that. Acquire the Mighty Pen Defensive Liberty System. Oh, that one gives you hidden compartments. Acquires your Vel to at least 25, increases your hold by 4. Camilla is a cannery that is unusually mounted in the bridge slot. I think the only one we'd consider getting is this one. It requires 10 experimental. Okay. Well, I want to... Which one's my auxiliary? Bridge slot. Is that the auxiliary? That's the auxiliary, okay. So we have 2. We don't actually want any of these. Here, the Society constructs specialist equipment to further the Society's explorations, London's armament, and the occasional Sky Captain's adventures. Now let's talk to the engineers. The senior engineer marches across the Samagi workshop floor to meet you. Well, she barks. Sorry, I mean, hello. We're frightfully busy. We're examining the effects of vertification on Murgatrod's tea. We just had a breakthrough. There's a gentle explosion behind her, followed by the intake, or the tinkle of shattered glass. Sorry, Mustache, do visit the arsenal if you're looking for something special. We can trade in cargo items for unique equipment. Yeah, which we already knew about. Oh god, I'm sitting on my headphone cord. The inscribed tinkerer likes her workbench tidy and her tea as strong as the devil's opinions. She believes in iteration, of technology, of society, of people. And her inventions are intended to mitigate specific dangers and obstacles of the high wilderness. Her tea-stained notebook bulges with blueprints, and her skin is covered in inky treatments of the correspondence. She raises an eyebrow as you enter her office. Thank God, I was in need of a break. The inscribed tinkerer produces a slim notebook. The correspondence, Captain. The incandescent language, the Pentecostal tongues of the stars. She invites you to examine the broken sigils that score her skin, mirrored in her notebook. Oh, excuse me. I've heard of a unique sigil. I can read. I've heard of a unique sigil I've not come across before. It's been cited by the students in Trader's Wood, by an old friend in a mausoleum, and by my least favorite person in Pan. As a captain, you could get to those places and confirm the sightings. I'd give you access to a few of my unique designs, should you wish to help. So, the Most Serene Mausoleum, which we still don't know where it is, but we know we need to get there. Trader's Wood and Pan. I only know where one of these is at the moment. Okay, let's check what they've got. No bargains. Cool. Oh! We needed 2 of those for something, right? Um... I just wish I could remember where I need them. Now that's going to Carillion. This is it. 2 carefully packed crates. Okay, yeah, let's buy those. Let's up our fuel and supplies some more since we have the inventory space. And we need to go... Oh, how do I zoom out again? X. Not the Brabs. And so we need to go down here. So we're going to be going southwest and then back. So... Oh, ads are going to start very soon. I'm just going to start them right away. And I'm going to go grab some wine. Because I've decided that I want to drink wine. Okay. We're just gonna pour our glass. For those who are curious, I am drinking a Pinot Noir. Alongside my usual hydration source, which is water with that fancy powder that makes it more hydrating because it helps with my hydration issues. That's real good, which I already anticipated because I do like Pinot Noir. When I do get Well, I like a lot of wines, actually. So, like, saying a specific type of wine. I don't think Pinot Noir is my favorite, though. I think that might be a red Moscato. That's at least my initial statement on my favorite, is the Moscato. But we are now making our way to a location to immediately head back to that location for a quest. Oh, you're a marauder. Well, I don't have time for you, so... Unfortunately, going to the Brabson work world would be more time, and I do have a 15-day time limit, and I'm not sure just how fast time moves in this game. I mean, we know it's the 28th of October, so I guess when we get there, we can determine how much time will pass, and then if I think I can swing up to Brabson, I will. Oh, excuse me. Because I know there was some stuff we needed to still do there. The Carrington Remedial School. Living in the Sunless Sea or Skies universe would suck. It's an interesting universe, but the idea of living somewhere like this sounds absolutely miserable. Okay, so 1 day has passed. Tower of Chimes. Oh, it's Big Ben. It's the clock tower. Huh. That was not something I anticipated seeing. But, well, we've seen it. Okay, floating parliament, we're nearly to your port. It took us 2 days, so we could theoretically swing up here to Brabson, which I know we kinda need to do. It's a little out of the way. Well, hopefully that's not a dead-end wall. The People's Perpetual Protest, yeah. Oh. Well, we can reduce our terror because of our aunt. Your aunt examines the scone with professional distaste. I suppose one shouldn't complain, she mutters, but marches off to have a quiet word with the baker. Anyway, you eat the slightly stale scone, complete with a lashings of jam and a clotted cream. Okay, yeah, port report, let's get that. That's 100% something we want. We definitely need the race marshal. Oh, hey, he gave us supplies. Or she. He. Lord Rochester regards you with bleary-eyed delight. How sensational, he brays, with rather more S's than he are usual. Jolly good you made it. Care for a triple? He shakes his head. No. You'd best be on your way. He waves you back to your engine, but not before thrusting a few bottles into your arms for the return leg. Now get back in time. Yep. Yeah, observe the protest. Let's join the protest. Gives us sky stories. Bazaar has tea. We don't really need that. Okay. Undock. So... let's try and swing up to the Brabson homeworld, which I think we can make a port report of, which, considering we need 4 total to get the one guy to have enough favor that... okay, yep, that is a wall in our path. We are gonna have to... let's see, 2 days have passed. We have 4 days have passed. 3 days have passed. We had 15. That only leaves us 12 days. But we only took 3 to 4 days at humble wooden coffins pepper the sky. Here, this is a bully's acre, a pauper's graveyard. There is little room for the dead in London. We have a 74% chance of success. You enlist your least scrupled crewmen and exit the main hatch. This is a graveyard. This is just a bunch of coffins that were jettisoned into space. So, these are people who couldn't afford to have a proper burial site. Because London sucks. Because this is vaguely a, like, 19-something era. This is like the 1900s. It literally says 1905. Era London, which was pretty bad. Maneuvering close, your nominee gets out of the footplate in the driving wind and honks a coffin with a coal shovel. The lid comes off with a groan before falling away into the sky. Well, seems the poor soul tried to take it with them after all. So we just did grave robbing, essentially. Not just a coffin, a lot of coffins. See, right there, on the just left of the pause menu, you can see a little coffin floating in the air. Huh. Oh, well, it's Halloween in-game. Spooky time. Fuck, I don't know any Halloween songs, really, off the top of my head. That aren't, for sure, super copyrighted and would get flagged immediately. Because Disney is kind of a scumbag. Yep, well, Disney owns the rights to Nightmare Before Christmas, so, there went some of them. Then I was like, oh, well, there's Hocus Pocus. Oh, wait, that's also Disney. Fuck. Oh, well, that's not good. Are you gonna keep fighting me? You're gonna keep fighting me. Okay. Good luck with that. Okay, yeah. Sky Stories and Tales of Terror are actually really useful. Okay, but now we're gonna port at Brabson to get the fucking stuff, and then we're gonna go back to that one place to join the Rochester Club. The bazaar? They have hours. Okay, let's grab some fuel while we're here. Where is it? It's here. 90% chance we got it. The driver sniffs at the air for any hint of loose verdant spores, dragged in by passing travelers. I can taste something. A fear, not death, but the loss of something important. The fragment doesn't want to return. It doesn't want to give up what it's become. They close their eyes, focusing. I can taste its design, as well as its hosts. Knew of a place called Hostrop Deep, a desolate corner of the sky. It meant to hide there. The deep will be hard to find. When we're close, we'll need to use our scout. The deep lies in the east-northeast of London. Okay. Oh, deliver the care package, yep. The summon workers are exquisitely downtrodden. The overseers take vocal pride in having gone an extra mile on your behalf and carefully selected the most miserable of a bad bunch. This is a dystopian nightmare. The masked laborers shuffle their feet, apparently expecting a trick. Finally, a filth-faced man steps forward, ducking his head in greeting, and fumbles the package open. He picks out one of the bow tie manuals and stares at it for a while. A series of emotion pass very visibly over his face. Finally, he inclines his head and thanks you without inflection. Well, unsurprisingly, they did not give a shit about proper bow tie tying protocol. Alas, it made it to November before it came into the chat, though. Okay, so days do pass pretty quickly, but not super quickly in this game. Oh, what? We got something. Oh my god, not again. As I just full-on ram face first into their hole. But we're not going to fight them because we, again, are on a time limit. I will, however, hydrate. In our travel. Oh, my friend's playing a game. Well, I did do it again. Ah, yes, popcorn. I don't think I've really cared to eat popcorn in a long time. I used to eat a lot of it as a kid, and I think it kind of broke me wanting to ever have it. So, no, wait, we're supposed to go here. Claim victory in the race. We got 500 sovereigns. The room bursts into applause as you enter. A full bottle of champagne is located, opened, and sprayed vigorously in your direction. Good show, Lord Rochester, and red-faced with delight. Damn near pipped me back there. Very proud to call you a Rochester. Very bloody proud. He praises his praise is fulsome, as is the bag of sovereigns pressed into your hand. Yeah, I don't want to do more races. Yeah, getting covered in fucking champagne sounds miserable, actually. Okay. Well, now we're exploring this away. Probably making our way to the Clockwork Sun, actually. We need to get a port report of the Clockwork Sun for this port specifically. I think that's the quartermaster's job. I think that's what the quartermaster does. I'm not sure. That or else it's everyone for themselves, in which case us. Okay. So it actually seems like we have to go around to get to the Clockwork Sun. Huh. Was not expecting that, actually. Oh, but there is something over there. At some point. I thought we were gonna have, like, a direct path there, so I was like, yeah, let's just go there, because we need to go up into here for our current quest line. But, you know. Whatever we're about to find is on the edge of the map, which has me worried. Because my memory is things on the edge of the map are not, things we want to be interacting with, usually. I mean, this is the closest to London we've been, so... A wreck. Okay. Partial success. Uh-oh. We lost crew. Okay. The wreck of the boatman. Let's call him George. Because it's just a nameless, faceless crew member. So we're gonna say George. You really need to be careful when stepping out into space, lest you, well, become a part of space. That's also possible. A wreck drifts just ahead. Fierce winds rock it like an empty cradle. Its black and silver book gleams in your lights as you search for its nameplate. The boatman. Captain! A signaler wants your attention. That's a Necropolis line engine. brought the dead to memoriam. His eyes widen. But it disappeared one eve. They say the dead woke and commandeered the train. Nonsense, I'm sure. He doesn't look convinced. Well, we have found something out of a survival horror game. Your pilot raises the wreck's hull and has to reverse. Your navigator's hand slips while wincing the locomotive close. A clang resounds throughout your engine. When you finally docked, you select a few of your crew to join you. The outer door to the boatman is rimmed with frost. The bolts shriek as they are pulled across. Inside, your torchlight reveals a narrow corridor in somber black, opening onto darker doorways, likely the crew cabins. There is a long moan from somewhere deeper in the engine. Probably the boilers, your stoker whispers, pressing forward through the cabins. You hear the rattle of something that might be chains. Bolt loose in the chassis, your stoker suggests, less confidently. The boatman is as dark and cold as the grave. Gaslights flicker on the walls, none substantial enough to illuminate more than the empty doorways ahead. A shattered window in the gallery in response to the merciless cold. The source of the faint but insistent knocking is less clear. Okay, we're gonna keep exploring this dangerous area. Light in hand, you wander the empty cabins and carriages. The floor of the boiler room is scarred with scorch marks. The captain's cabin is littered with pieces of furniture. There are bullets in the walls. There are no coffins aboard, but the hold is locked. A great groaning emanates from within. Okay. Let's start with the engine room. The air is as hot and dry as the heart of a work world. The incinerator has been switched on. Something is burning inside. Peering in, you can make out the remains of a bundle of black and silver uniforms, smoldering into ash. Most likely, yeah. Okay, let's go for the gallery next. A pot has been left on the hob, boiling away. Inside, teeth? A sudden hissing. Your stoker stifles a scream. It's just a pipe giving out in the cold. Steam pouring from the rupture like smoke. You pass a mirror and glimpse a skull where your face should be. The rest is mantled in shadow. Returning to the mirror, you see the glass is broken. There is a hole in the wall. We can hear weeping somewhere far away. At the end of the black-walled corridor, the captain was afforded some measure of privacy from her crew. The room is Spartan. The bed looks uncomfortable. Someone has arranged her pillows, and a surprising number of moldering stuffed toys beneath her sheets, in the semblance of a sleeping form. The only other furniture in the room is a barren Rhindex, with a journal and a pen abandoned upon it. Oh, boy. 15 Tales of Terror? Holy fuck, that's a huge fucking ask. We obviously can't do that. We have one. I gotta try. Partial success. Reading the captain's log provides a few clues. 11th September, 1903. That's 2 years ago in-game. Line manager insists we shave a day and a half from the round trip. Navigator plotted new course 12th September 1903. Set to make memoriam in good time, 13th September 1903. Scout reports wafts of unraveled time on our bearing. Have instructed pilot to hold the course and our schedule. You haven't found a string of coffins, and the hold is locked from the outside. The captain would have her keys with her, but you've not found her body. Either the captain felt the need to lock the hold before abandoning her engine, or she's inside. The door locked tight. Yeah, it's incredible. I think it was bound for Necropolis even. Okay, so we can force the door open, or we can plunge down the corpse chute. That sounds like a great idea, right? Let's do it. Coffins brought to Necropolis, lined ships are deposited through the corpse door, which opens onto a narrow chute leading into the hold. The metal groans with the weight and movement of a live body. Tormented fixings buckle. Your crew hang on the sides for you to get a move on. It's quite a squeeze as the chute narrows into a throat. But with a final groan, you are expelled. Ooh, boy. Behind the wreckage, you find a row of coffins, like blackened teeth. There is a sudden muffled banging, as if something is knocking on the underside of a lid. Let's explore the hold first. You move through the hold, which is as large as a wealthy family's mausoleum, casting your light before you. Shadows flee, revealing chains holding some of the coffins closed. Scuff marks on the floor, a few shreds of black and silver cloth. An insistent scratching comes from a coffin, knocking from another. Your signet girl startles and stumbles, falling face first onto a coffin, which rocks angrily. The lid slides off to reveal the boatman's captain, gagged, bound, and still very much alive. Footsteps approach, slowly, as though dragged. Your stoker shrieks. Figures appear at the hold door, mantled in shadow. You raise your torch, illuminating the figures in the door. This provokes shrieks from your crew. Sallow-skinned, hollow-eyed, decaying corpses are blocking your escape. Bloody rib cages, broken skulls, exposed bone and sloughing flesh. Cadavers. Reach for the weapon. You reach for your pistol. The cadavers take a step back. Please, the nearest rasp, a tall, tattered man in a stoker's uniform. I'm not sure these bodies could survive any more damage. The leader extends one bony hand, its limb shaking from the weight of yet unsloughed flesh. The corpse nods stiffly, its fingers close around your own. There is an uncomfortable moment where you almost leave with more fingers than you started with. But eventually, and with many a chorus, "Excuse me," you extract yourselves. You're glad you didn't run away, the skeleton says. The deceased stoker sends another corpse to fetch brandy for your crew. The captain, he says mournfully, had a habit, but the brandy lacks in quality and makes up for in potency. Now, the stoker says, when the last of the glasses have been handed out, I think an explanation is required. I would say that. Oh, hey, I got an achievement for this. Should apologize, he says. We've not had any visitors since the mutiny. Couldn't predict how you'd react. Driving you off with a haunting seemed safest. Almost had you, a decaying lady cackles. The fruit in her hat has fused with the exposed parts of her cranium. The stoker clears his crumpling throat. While our bodies were being transported, the captain steered us through a carelessness in time. Things have got entangled, you see. As far as our minds are concerned, we haven't died, but our bodies beg to differ. Voca furiously, the last thing I remember from when I was alive is saying farewell to my husband, then heading to the station. He looks down at the captain in her coffin. She's getting agitated again. We've been very decent, considering they tried to throw us into the incinerator the moment we climbed out of our boxes. Anyway, we thought we might face the same treatment elsewhere, so we set out onto the wild. But here we are, stuck without fuel. We'd appreciate the help. This is such a fucking cool story. That's what I have to say. Okay. So let's speak with the happy dead. The stoker adjusts his jaw to make his speech more intelligible. Damnable thing, really. Last thing I remember from life before this is wishing him goodbye. A sigh rattles through his skull. I wouldn't want him to see me like this. He gestures to the assemblage of cadavers behind him. It's the same for all of us. No idea what we'd go back to, or who, or if we'd even be allowed. Better to have a fresh start. Let's talk to the unhappy dead. I had a nice tea shop in London. Opened it with my Bertie. We had word of a new strain coming in from Ethulia. Last I know, I was on my way to the station to pick it up. She pauses to pluck a wax peach out from the fracture in her skull. All this, she gestures at her skeletal form, is just an inconvenience. Coming back is an opportunity, and one I'd be a fool to miss. And I'm not the only one who feels that way. I mean, at this point, I don't think we get our choice. Let's speak with the living. The moment you remove the gag from the captain's mouth, she bursts into speech. Get us out of here! They closed the coffin lids on us! I cannot bear another second! She pauses to regain a degree of self-control. I know. We were a bit hasty popping them in the incinerator, but it was horrible. Coffins busting open, shrieking bodies wondering where their tea was or why they couldn't see. She shudders. Please, this is a nightmare. So, arrange to take the living home. Yeah. You haul the captain out of her coffin. The dead keep their distance, perhaps sensing their help is unlikely to be appreciated. Bloody savior you are, the captain whispers. Come on, lads. All aboard the captain's train. We'll sort out what we're going to say to the line manager on the way back. The crew of the boatmen leave their train for yours. Your quartermaster can arrange the details of their crossing and provisioning. So we need to take them to the Most Serene Mausoleum. I don't know where that is still. Ugh. Okay, that's fine. The chaperone gasps. You would? Oh, I can smell my old tea shop already. Her voice gives way, but she conveys her feelings via a sudden crushing embrace. Bones crack before she releases you. Fortunately, only hers. That's fair. Your quartermaster can arrange the details of their trip back. Your quartermaster's expression suggests that they did not appreciate the reminder that the new passengers won't require supplies. Oh my god. Oh, that's such a good line. Oh, allergy medicine. That's why I'm feeling bad. Captain Jack Sparrow. Now I just need to wait for it to kick in. No, they're dead, so they just don't eat. And we return to our locomotive. Also, just look in this bottom left corner and look at how much fucking terror we have for this side experience. So, yeah. No, worst case scenario, we just get a 1 rank of nightmares, which at some point in the near future we have to go back to the Reach anyway. And if we go to the Reach, then, well, we have Carillion, or not Carillion, different place. I forget what it's called. But it lets you severely drop it. Magdalene. Magdalene's where we would go to severely drop it. And I think you can even cure nightmares if you get there. Now, if you get 4 levels of nightmares, you're dead. But it takes some time. I don't think you get nightmares until you're at least 75% of your terror. But we are about to go near the Clockwork Sun, so that is going to raise our terror a chunk. We need a Savage secret. It is late, and you are alone. Doubts prey on you. Is this the path you should have taken? You trespass upon the presence of heaven. What price will be exacted of you? What price have you already paid? Oh my god, we got so lucky. Questions worry at you, chasing any sleep away. Later, there is a knock at your door. One of your officers is outside. Madam, we need you. Duty calls. The doubts must wait. Hey, we found another space grave. No, we didn't. I was wrong. This is the Clockwork Sun again. We've been here. But it is not good that we are here right now. Because, as you can tell by our terror flashing, this is a scary place to be. A nervous face whispers to you from behind a bulkhead. Help us. We were brought here to build the Clockwork Sun. Lots of abandoned storerooms. Help us raid them and take your fill. Safety in numbers. The sun despises thieves, but its angers can't shine on all of us. Well, this is going to go badly, because we either have a 50% chance or a 60% chance. Oh, good. Hours pass before your crew members return. rolling freshly unearthed barrels. The leader hands them to you with a carefully gloved hand. I was so convinced we were about to lose a large chunk of our crew. Okay, writing the port report. Oh yeah, we also have to go back to the cult town. You got anything in the bazaar that we want? Nope. Okay. We can go to London or we can go to Whorlberry. I'm gonna go to Whorlberry, because that's a place where I know I can severely drop our terror. That is a scary ship to see. Because I'm pretty sure that is one of the war vessels that we first saw when we landed in London. That was so important it got its own story moment. So, I was a little worried I was about to get into a fight with something I could not defeat. We're gonna take the slightly roundabout way, because we do still need to find something in the northeast. Well, we're not going that direction, sadly. Okay, it is exceedingly dark in this area. That is concerning. Okay, it got more concerning once it wasn't dark, actually. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, more and more weird shit. All of this glowing amber orbs have me worried. Oh, fun, we found a horror. Oh god, oh god, 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 oh no, 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 no. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Oh fuck. Oh, oh fuck. Uh-oh. Why did we stop moving? Fuck, we're gonna take a nightmare on. A pistol has vanished from the armory. Knives are disappearing. The signs of insurrection. You do not punish your crew or turn one another away. They know you know of their schemes and find your eerie calm unsettling. The mutinous incidents cease. For now. Have the mutineers changed their mind? Or are they biding their time? Is there a pistol under a pillow, waiting for a chance to end you? Unfortunately, we have nightmares. Oh, fuck. You notice it first on your bed. Faint rusty marks on the creases of your pillow. There are finger traces, the shade of old blood on the handle of your door. The armpits of your clothing, too. Something with the taste of metal is coming out of your pores. Fuck! Hot water, vinegar, attention! You can't completely rid the place of its smell or the stains, but you blur them. When they are faded, they might be mistaken for bloodstains. Someone might think you made a mess of your quarters after a difficult battle. Ah! Oh, don't be a dead end! Don't be a dead end! Oh fuck, it's a dead end! Oh boy! Please leave me alone. Oh no, I'm not risking a battle with that thing. We're going to the fucking circus. Or the fair, or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. Oh boy. That was... That was a lot. I don't think that was a mimic. I think that was, I think those are called something. It's something with an S. It's similar to scarves, but isn't scarves. They're just essentially haunted wood that's come to life and wants to kill people for fucking with the forest. Oh. Oh no! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! What's going on? Why am I getting fired at? Where did that come from? Not the eye, the fucking thing that shot at me. I thought we got away from the tree. I don't fucking know. It's a giant eye. It's creepy too, but... nope. Let's up our supplies and get some fuel. Fog rises from below, seeping through the wooden slats of the dock. The crowds waiting in the queue begin to sing, a watery, undulated tune of no discernible melody. Hey, we got our crew back up to 8. We didn't have to spend any money. Let's go. You hurry the panicked visitors aboard, and they quickly sign contracts of service. Anything to get away from here as soon as possible. How many of those do I have? I only need 2, so we will... Because we need to get into off-season specifically. So... yeah, we needed to visit the cult. Report the results of your recruitment mission. Thank you, says the bedraggled parson. Tone milk mild, he gestures. An inflection of the hand that draws the eye to the swath of new faces, each tendril-haired, paraffin pale, and without expression. Then one laughs jerkily, fingers picking at their chewed down hems, and it becomes clear who they are. They who must grieve is soothed by their presidents, as they are by their contact with the numerous. Surrealist echo. The parish is repeating its every word. Okay, we need to go to Avid Horizon. Good to know. And now we go into the normal part of the park where we can reduce our terror. I think we have to go to Carillion or Magdalene specifically, but I'm not fully sure. Right now, we are just trying to reduce our terror. I mean, it is a very useful option. Okay, we gained a little bit of terror, but we did reduce our terror a large bit first. And also got us some stuff. And now it is time to leave. But the unfortunate thing is I think we actually have to go right here. Or here for the quest line. Wait. This way. Journal. They're not reckless, they assure you, just making up for lost time. Their low, verdant fragment meant to hide itself in Hostrop Deep, a barren corner of the sky. It lies to the east, northeast of London. When you're close, you'll need to scout ahead. So, because it's either here or here. Some rum would be pretty effective. I actually have some rum in my fridge, but I'm not a rum drinker. I have that from like a while back from a roommate. And I've like barely touched it. Rum's too bitter for me. Not a big fan of bitter drinks. That's part of the reason I go with wine, because it's usually more of a sweet. Oh god, there's the eye again. Please find what we're looking for. The edges of the maps are actually some of the scariest places in the maps. I just think it looks at you and it's creepy. Oh, fun. Well, we just lost some fuel. Cool, the thing that we found we can't do shit with. Because we don't have cannery. I feel like it's actually over here where we wouldn't need to go. Well, seems like it is time to go southward back to London. Dusking's Deep. Uh-oh. Well, I am a crack shot. Oh, yeah, we're leaving. Goodbye. Oh. Oh, it's the eye again. Oh god, it's the eye again. I don't know, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh, hey, it's a cancer carry. Oh, fuck us. Octave fogs rise about your locomotive. The air acquires a caustic copper tang. Your driver complains they can't see a damn thing. The burrower's breath, they murmur. The fog persists all day. That evening, a gnarled crewman visits your cabin. The burrow below is displeased. He informs you. He expects a sacrifice. If you wish, he will arrange it. Well, we have a 70. We're gonna lose crew. Oh, we sacrificed a lot more crew than I was expecting. Oh, we're in an ad break. Well, good news. The burrower below doesn't give a shit about us anymore instead of being displeased. Well, I was not expecting that. At least we gained a savage secret? Yeah. Yeah, let's go with that. Also, we're not at half our crew, and we're being treated like we're down to a low crew. That's not a good sign. Sure. I mean, we're going to London. We can get more crew. It's just... it might be time to return to the Reach and do some quests there. Because we are not in the best of spots right now. Got a full minute left on those ads. I mean, let's be honest, all the gods in this game are dicks. I think that's kind of the whole premise of this, is that the gods suck. Well, the next morning, 3 of your crew awake to find marks dabbed in coal dust on their foreheads. How curious. Over the next week, all 3 of them die. Not from violence or murder, but to accidents, to illness, to misfortune. As if the threads of their lives have been cut short. The acrophage sinks away and troubles you no more. Well, yeah, I know we're gonna deal with mechanical problems. We're low on crew. I'm trying to make it back to London in one piece. Then I think we have to go back to the Reach at this point. Oh, okay. Fuck. We should have delivered these to... Oh, wait, those are to Avid Horizon. That's... No, wait, Avid Horizon's here somewhere. It's west-northwest of London, so it's actually in this area. Fuck. Oh, but we need crew first. Well, I now know we actually want to up the amount of crew we can have, which I think I can afford to do, because I think I have the inventory slot of our locomotive to increase our quarters. But damn. That was unfortunate. Bum, bum. Oh, wow, that was a lot. This feels like a game that would actually be pretty good to do with other people in, like, a collab call. What is that down there that I keep kicking that hurts? Okay. Wow, we are in a very unfortunate situation of needing to get a lot of things. Oh my god. Allergy medicine, help me already. We absolutely need a lot of things right now. Most streamers have cute sneezes. I have violently loud sneezes. Or I guess most VTuber streamers, I should say. Ah. We are so close to port! We are so close to port, you assholes! An engineer cries out, her voice boasts as a professional mourner. It's gone! She points through one of the stained glass windows. A star! It winked out! You look through the glass. Star burns upon the filament. The specific patch of sky she's pointing at is indeed empty, but you couldn't say if a star had been there before. We have a lot of supplies, but god damn it. The prospect of brandy provides a ragged cheer. Soon, the crew have rosy faces and broad smiles. Your locomotive responds to a lusty, if approximate rendition of How the Sailors Lost Their Z's. No one looks out the windows, though. No one looks at the stars. Smart. I would say that is smart. Okay, we have a lot of things we need to do now. Okay. Let's start with the bazaar. What do we got here? 3 carefully packed crates of sufficiently dangerous blah 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 floating parliament. Okay, well that's not hard to find. I think we also have enough. Parliamentary floating parliament. I don't have it. I can always get rid of it if we end up getting screwed over. Okay, so let's buy ourselves some supplies. Oh, let's get one more supply. Again, we only need 2 of these, so I'm gonna get rid of 2 of them. So right now we have the fucking... Okay, we can't. We need an irons of 45, which we do not have to use that. But this one is at hearts of 25. It'll give us more crew space, so we're just gonna go ahead and install that. Yeah, again, we just don't have the money, and also I think the one we want, we've already decided is in the Reach. Okay, let's see if we can't get ourselves some things. Liberated from her prison below the earth and elevated to the heavens, prickled with chimney... I don't need to read this again. All in all, your navigator admits they've not been bad passengers, despite their insistence on joining the crew for meals, watching enviously and, in one regrettable instance, dropping a jawbone into the stew. Okay. Yeah, that would suck. That would fuck up. The behatted chaperone sees her charges off the engines with efficiency and tenderness. Her charges slowly disappear into the teeming smog of London. When the last has gone, she turns to you. Would you come with me? I'm not sure how my husband will take my return. I will take your word for it and probably see it after stream. Agreed. She rubs her skull. In case you can't tell, Captain, I am smiling. She leads you through crowded thoroughfares to a quiet street, just behind St. Dominic's. There, a little tea shop is waiting. Oh, excuse me. I just had, like... my body decide to burp as I was trying to read. Her husband sits inside. Wall tea for 3 steeps, he weeps. When he eventually composes himself, you are repaid for her return, with tea as well as coin. Wow. Okay. Okay, and we got something from the signalman. Let's go. The signalman is in a state of distress. They told me they're taking everything I said under serious advisement. Focus on better management practices. Improve efficiencies. He shakes his head. I don't think they listened to anything I said, but they were very happy. I mentioned your name. We got ministry gratitude. Direct the signalman to curry favor with the ministry or the cryptic. Do we have any cryptic benefactors right now? Is that what you are? We have one. I think we should get one more. I'll do what I can, if the pig-headed idiots will listen. The signalman's expression is dour as ever. They never paid attention to me when I was just a worker. He adjusts his bowler and tugs his collar straight. But now I'm a consultant. He heads off from the station, whistling tunelessly. Okay. And now we see if we can... We did not find it. I don't think I'm going to keep trying to find it right now. Hire on crew! 4 to 6 crew. There we go. We've got 10 crew members now. Much better if we lose crew, because we can now lose 4 and still be fine to pilot our ship. Oh, good. Let's repair that. Because, oh boy, we took a lot of damage. Visit. Deliver port reports. I know we're giving up the one that we kind of wanted, but that's fine. We want his trust, though, so we can get this further work. He considers you for a minute, tapping his pen on the desk. Then he nods. He communicates that he works for the New Street Line, an organization that arranges for work-world escapees to be smuggled to safety. If necessary, the line finds them new lives and new names. The authorities do not approve. If you want to help, you will need to meet his patron. He gives you a yellowing train ticket and shoves you an address. It belongs to a fierce philanthropist, co-owner of the Steam and Sapphire Company. Yeah, let's do that. Well, I mean, if she's holding up a wine glass, I might as well take a drink. You call at the fierce philanthropist's tall, stately house. Her security is a slight man with a drooping lip. He jumps up when you present your ticket and ushers you into his employer's study. She sits tall in her chair, a sherry bottle to one side, her papers to the other. She pours you a glass. Please, have a seat. Her voice has a hint of Midland's melancholy. Yeah. Is that how it works? There is no line. The philanthropist taps a nail on her mahogany desk. Only the idea of one. We have conductors operating throughout the empire, reporting to me. I'll point you to one of them, and they'll tell you where you need to go. Assuming, of course, you're ready to be responsible for another's freedom. Okay. The fierce philanthropist gives you a nod. You don't handle that side of the business here, of course, she says. Too dangerous for our other affairs. Speak to our man at the yards. She directs you to the firebrand conductor. Use the fast phrase, bread for blood. Okay. He meets you in a smoky station pub. The conductor is an itchy-fingered, studious young man, blazing with revolutionary zeal inside his oversized scarf. We'll free them one by one if we have to. It's a good job the clientele is raucous and utterly uninterested in your conversation. Oh, excuse me. Everyone deserves the right to be to their own hours, to live them at the pace God intended. But on the work worlds, a pauper spends a month of their life to ensure an hour of rich men's luxury. The fire conductor spits onto the floor. Those who escape from the work worlds are hunted. Our patrons arrange passage for as many as she can. We look for opportunities. Empty cargo trains, drunken captains who won't notice a few extra hands on board their trains. Okay, we're gonna smuggle some passengers. The firebrand conductor flips through the notebook. The lady makes the arrangements through her network. Let's see. Yes, pick up from here, deliver there, come back to me, and I'm sure I'll have another who needs your help. His mouth tightens. There's always more. So we need to go to Eagle Empire, Imperium, and then go to Port Prosper. Okay. Journal. Okay, it doesn't tell me where Eagle's Imperium is. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, it's time to explore the northwest. My brain forgot which way west and east were for a second there. The Patient Princess. 69 XP gained. We're going to just see what's in this black area, because we have a lot of places where there could be ports, and this is a good place to start. Crown and Misery Co-Yards. Okay, we got something up this way. We're going on an adventure. Seeing what we can find, what wonders await in the stars. Never mind the horrors. The wonders of the stars. Saying something we cannot do. Okay, well, kind of taking the trail that we are given. Nanok's Feast, or Nunok's Feast. Okay, blocked by a wall. Lee's Lays. Here, the sky has the hush of country graveyards. That means this is probably where the mausoleum area is. Oh, wow, that's haunting. Which, I mean, this is clearly a mausoleum area. So I think we have actually found what we were looking for. One of the many things we are looking for. I mean, you have a lot of things you could hit, then it's not hard to actually succeed. Oh, there's combat happening over there. We're just gonna go ahead and ignore that. Let's see. The soaring specular, heart of the most serene mausoleum, constructed over the cooling embers of Albion's murdered sun. The mausoleum was built to house London's most glorious dead. Kensington Station is tucked into a side chapel. An elderly footman in lighting candles while waiting to guide visitors into the mausoleum proper. Lighting a fresh taper, which he carries in a silver holder, the footman leads you through a narrow arch and down a winding spiral stair. You can hear weeping close by, but the echoes make it hard to discern the source. Soon after, you hear a sharp burst of laughter and music. Occasionally, you can make out the rumble of what the footman confirms to be London's Necropolis Railroad far below. At the very bottom is an oak-paneled door. The footman unlocks the door, bows, and departs. The footman disappears into the gloom, leaving you alone facing a desk shaped like a baptismal font. A cheery register sits in the middle, waiting to greet you. She has you fill out a form indicating your profession, age, usage of hours, and to confirm your legal status as alive. The Prince Consort's tube is exceedingly popular. To prevent congestion, donations are requested. The greater donation, the longer you will be allowed to gaze upon the specular sepulchre. If one is fortunate enough to garner the attention of one of the deathless, one must be respectful and only speak when spoken to. It does not do for the living to linger long among the dead. She files away your form into an excessively large black cabinet. Okay. Let's get the port report first. The most serene mausoleum endures. The catacombs grow as the necropolis line brings more bodies for burial. Trader bring fresh hours to the mausoleum. Endowments from the Empress for the deathless, interred in their vaults. Plans are in motion to add a new chapel to the nave, while the deathless petition for a new, separate station for the exclusive use of their servants. Death has never been so much in motion. This is weird. Okay, let's look for the sigil. You follow the Tinkerer's instructions. A quiet window off a landing below the upper vault. Far below, mourners and courtiers, all in black silk, wander the nave like a host of spiders. You take out a magnifying glass provided and turn your attention to the walls. Some quick thinking on your engineer's part doused the worst of the flames. The correspondence often has spectacular side effects. Your notebook has survived, with your drawings of the many, many identical broken sigils that adorn the gallery that look out over the dead star below. Let's drop off the boatman crew. The captain fiddles with her cufflinks as she accompanies you to the office of the Necropolis line. Her crew have scurried away. "You don't have to come in," she says, not looking at you. "But the manager's not going to be pleased. If you'd put in a good word..." She trails off. You have arrived at the unobtrusive black-painted door of the office. The knocker bears a grinning silver skull. Inside, the office is funerary, draped in indigo and accented with fussy silver fixtures. The line manager looks up from his desk and glowers at the captain. "Where the bloody hell have you been?" The line manager rants and rages till you manage to interject. Your mention of exceptional circumstances give him pause. And your production of the captain's own log puts a stop to his complaints. He plainly does not believe you, but he seems afraid of anything in writing. He dismisses you both, but not without a significant reward for your trouble in your immediate departure. Outside, the captain deflates with relief. Thank you. I'll remember your kindness." So, we got 50 sovereigns. Such a large amount of money. But more importantly, we got a cryptic benefactor. Visit the memorial to the Prince Consort. The most serene mausoleum was built to commemorate Her Renewed Majesty's dead lover. His tomb is the heart of the mausoleum, the vaults, chapels, mourners, and quarters, all arteries and capillaries to his memory. To visit the tomb, one must speak to the cheery register. Well, let's just... How much is this? Oh. Wow, yeah, let's do that. Because reducing our terror would be a good choice for 3 sovereigns. The cheery register marks your name in the account book before summoning a footman to guide you to the tomb. The tomb is sunk into a round chapel behind the choir. An effigy of the Prince Consort rests on top. His long hands are folded in prayer. 4 sculpted seraphim support him, as though about to lift him up in flight. Crowds of visitors and mourning jostle for a better position. A lady in an inconceivable hat shoves her way to the front. You are afforded a brief glimpse of the prince's haunted marble face before you are ushered away. Okay. Approach the deathless. Oh wow, that's a lot of options. Holy shit. The most serene mausoleum houses more than just the Prince Consort. Under its soaring spires, the Empress keeps her most favored quarters. Those lucky few are provided with every luxury they might wish, in a generous stipend of hours. The only condition is bounty is that they are dead. A legality only. They cannot possess property nor hold political office as a result. They are the deathless. Occasionally, they deny to appear visitors. What's this? Oh, so there's just another character we haven't got yet. 3 favors bestowed. A favor bestowed. Okay. Speak with the Duchess Incarnadine, a second Tamora. The Duchess would be a small figure, were it not for the mounds of silk and brocade that comprises her dress. She glides along the flagstone, a great train of scarlet cloth following her like the telltale trail of blood in a penny dreadful. Today she is menacing the footmen, press-ganging them into their mock battles in the Tower Carmine. Fatalities are rare in her battles. Maimings are not. She gives you a red-lipped smile. Footman intervenes and introduces you. She is pleased to encounter a genuine captain. and quizzes you on all the battles you fought in the wilderness. The goriest details she demands you linger on. She parts with you only reluctantly. I've gained favor. Oh man, there's a lot of options now. Entertain a request from the macabre counselor. Into the dark. Several footmen are on hand to escort you from the nave and through the oak-paneled doors that lead down into the catacombs of silence, where the macabre counselor resides. Black candles burn in silver candelabras. Fading tapestries molder on the walls. In glass cabinets, bones of saints and sinners are displayed with gloomy relish. This just makes me think of how fucking weird Christianity is. The macabre counselor is in a maudlin mood, regaling you with stories of her youth and musing wistfully on past regrets. I have only one worth mentioning, my daughter. The Empress saw fit to take her from me as a punishment, I suppose. She could be terrible petty, could Vicky? She examined you speculatively. Wish to have my daughter returned to me. Fulfill this commission, and I shall bequeath upon you a great reward. I mean, yeah. She is a hostage at Purdon's, kept to ensure my discretion. She hands you several charcoal sketches of her daughter, a pretty, presumptuous heiress with dark eyes, and a curly lock of her brown hair. I have an agent in place to assist and to conceal my daughter's escape. You'll need invitations to access the half-light mosque to effect a rescue. I only have 3 to hand. It is likely you'll need to secure more. Okay. Your mind returns to her use of the word hostage. An odd choice. Purdon is said to be a place of endless delights, where the children of society's elite dally in luxury. Surely it shouldn't be too much trouble to rescue one spoiled, presumptuous heiress from the lap of opulence, even if it is, as it were, the Empress lap. Okay, let's speak with the dismal Chamberlain. Your attempts to meet with the Chamberlain are met with relentless obfuscation. His secretary reschedules the meeting 8 times, eventually arranging it for 6 days ago. You even try waiting all day outside the Chamberlain's office, but he does not appear. His duties include regulation of time in the mausoleum, where the deathless wallow in generous pensions of hours. However, the clocks are not keeping the same time. Has something happened? Ben Gaiman myself. Fair. This game... You're right, Albion has a lot of really cool stories going on. Finally, you manage to corner the engraved mourner and press him for answers. The Chamberlain is no longer in residence, he replies curtly. We don't dwell on the matter. We suggest you follow suit. I have lost favor. Yeah, that makes sense. Fuck, where did I need to sell those? I already forgot. Avid Horizon. And we just don't have that. Yeah, it's a weird place. I also really like the Wreck of the Boatman. That might be my favorite self-contained story in this entire game. Oh, hey, we needed those. How many did we need? 5. And I don't need those, but we need 5 of... Oh, this is where we supply them. Fuck. Well. Okay. Most likely what we're looking for is somewhere in here. Because we now need to find Prosper. And unfortunately, the maps are not consistent, so it's not like I can be like, hey, where is this? And look it up, because it's going to just be like... Or not Prosper, we're looking for Perdance. What the fuck is that? Oh! That's where the sun is. That was murdered. Okay. We're gonna just reduce our terror. Because, oh no, not again. Okay. Huh. Well, the dead sun itself I kind of knew about because it's kind of been explained to me, I think by you specifically, but as to it being a thing in general, looks fucking wild. Putting it next to the graveyard feels like a very petty choice by the queen. But, I mean, I understand petty. You know, I'm not gonna work to kill the cancer carry. Oh, we found another well. We found the well specific for Albion. I don't know. Other than Albion's well. Oh my god, what the fuck was that? Okay, are we just not able to land at this well? The wolf. I don't like the sound of that. There it is. Okay. Failure. Yep, that was bound to happen. When you emerge from your engine, the winds push at you like a schoolyard bully. The cold bites. Beyond the lip of black permafrost, the well mouth gapes, wide enough to swallow worlds. Oh, excuse me. Away from the edge, a cluster of hexagonal cave mouths perforate an icy cliff face. The yellow eyes of devils gleam inside them. Speak to a congregation of devils. You ask about their lives here. Silence. When you persist, one steps forwards and opens his mouth as wide as he can. Oops. I hit a button. Plain song emerges sweet, with a sonorous drone. The devil's lip and tongues aren't moving. The song is coming from deeper in his throat. You stand on tiptoes. The devil leans forward. You peer past his tongue, his tonsils, his gullet. See a large compound eye, insectoid, iridescent, peering back at you from his chest cavity. The devil steps away, This is all for now, it seems. Well, well, that's fun. That that is something that I think. Oh God, I just lost my headset while trying to like scratch my ear. Actually, I kind of want to screen cap that, actually. Specifically because I kind of need to write some stuff still for Call of Cthulhu, like the campaign we're running, which we should be doing our next episode this coming Sunday.
A few moments later.
And it's going to start off with a bang. And then we're going to get into an actual kind of mystery they have to resolve instead of the setup for getting them to places. Yeah, a lot of those things are sound alerts. The names are kind of... They either reference what it is from or what it is. Oh, my body's saying I have to use the bathroom. So, I'm going to run the ads a little early so I can go use the bathroom. Okay. I will return after I'm done in the bathroom. That was not a pleasant bathroom experience. Not going to go into detail because that's not something I want to talk about. Okay, so we approach the stone idol. 3 tales of terror. Hearts at the cost of iron and mirrors, which we don't need. No, those experiences are at least quick. The shapeless idol looms over you. Someone has scratched jagged teeth around each of its holes, transforming them into many, many mouths. A hefty hook is affixated into the stone, just higher than you can reach. While at the base of the idol, 2 depressions have been dug into the ice. The first holds a knout with hooks knotted in its thongs. The second holds a blackened strip of something like leather. But we, don't actually want to do that right in the first one. You're right. Oh, I need to fill my water. One moment. Didn't realize it was empty. So now everybody gets to hear some water ASMR, because I'm pretty sure it's going to pick up on mic. I really wish that the water in my area didn't actually make me sick, so I didn't have to buy water bottles. I prefer to, but unfortunately, the area I live in, the water is really bad. So because of that, I have to resort to water bottles. Yeah. American water supplies, usually, you're like flipping a coin on if it's actually a good water supply or not. Well, the thing is, I have a water bottle that is a gallon and a half. Or not a gallon and a half, a liter and a half, sorry. It's just that I drink a fuck ton of water. Unless you're referring to like those ones that you put in the fucking water dispensers and like you see in offices. In which case, I feel like that'd be more effort and cost more in the long run than I would like to deal with. Or short term, I mean. Because it may be better for the short term, but also, like, I don't intend on living in this area forever. So... Well, I also have chronic bladder issues, so... Oh, that would be so much nicer. No, don't have that here. Maybe in a different state, but not the state I'm stuck in at the moment. The journey to the bandstand is bleak and exposed. The well waits on either side. If you look down, you imagine movement in its calagnous depths. A temptation wells in you to fling yourself from the ice and into the abyss. You avert your eyes swiftly. The thing in the well begins to howl, and the winds scurry in search of kinder spaces. Also, I would like a cat, that is true. It is a hollow, keening sound The distress of something that can't believe it still has more to lose. The ice groans miserably. I mean, if owning a fox as a pet wouldn't be something that I consider inhumane, I'd want to honestly own a fox, but, you know, that's one, illegal in a lot of states, and two, inhumane to animals in the first place, because they kind of are nature creatures. Well. Oh, well, that's interesting. Didn't know that. I just don't feel like you should own a fox as my other thing. I feel like they don't belong in houses, like they belong in nature, even if it's just like one of those fox rescues or like weasel rescues, you know, like animal rescues specific for animals, where they specialize in giving the proper care for them. Now, I'd probably visit one of those if I knew where one was, pretty frequently just to see foxes, but... like, the ideal dream job is if I could somehow find, specifically in Washington State, a fox... well, it's just the thing of they're, like, still technically wild animals. Maybe it's changed since I last looked into it, but at the time it just felt like a thing you shouldn't do. I don't know. Finding a job at a fox rescue in somewhere like specifically Washington, because that's the state I want to move to. Because, you know, moving out of country isn't as viable an option. The devils mount the bandstand and begin to sing. Their lips are motionless, their mouths hanging slackly open. Buzzing plainsong pours from their throats. The notes are scattered across the scale, creating only a tenuous harmony. Slowly, they begin to shuffle in what might be a dance. Its movements are performed only with the feet. Are they drawing an alphabet? Hieroglyphs? The well's well drowns them out, but they persist. After some time, the well begins to waver. The winds slacken. Slowly, over the course of another hour, the well returns to quiescence. The devils, wearied, go back to their caves. Yeah. So... moment of inspiration in a searing enigma. Damn. The bandstand is made from cast iron, modestly curlicued, and pitted by the harsh weather. You find the manufacturer's mark and date. The components were wrought in the promised days, just after London arrived in the heavens. While inspecting it, you feel the weight of the numerous fathoms below you. They pull at you. Perhaps, as a child, you dropped a stone down a less terrible well. Perhaps you listened for the sound of the striking the bottom. Now you imagine yourself as a stone, falling and falling. That is fair. Okay, let's try and save an angry cat, I guess. Oh, hey, we succeeded. The devils trail you to the lip of the well, their faces weighted with expectation. Something is yowling plaintively from the abyss. Something mortal, and odiously off-key. You go on your stomach and lean over the edge, a hand thrust into the void. For moments, there is nothing. Nothing but the noise. Nothing but the cold and the stench. You've profaned something sacred. Then, your fingers brush against fur. With considerable effort, you extract a round-bellied, snaggle-toothed, long-clawed lump of a cat. The devils are relieved at your success and insist you depart with the agitated, aggrieved feline as soon as possible. Oh, dyslexia, thank you for making me read that very weird. Oh, God. That was loud. That well is so much scarier than the fucking well in the Reach, though. I don't know why. There's just something about that one that's creepier to me. It might just be the color tones. Speaking from my artistic leanings, because I do actually draw a lot, even if I don't really post it outside of the Discord server anymore, because I really don't want people using it for AI art training. So I don't really feel safe posting it on Twitter. Sometimes I will, but not often. But speaking from color psychology, green is usually a more calming color. Now, depending on the type of green specific. But green, at most, is an eerie color when it's related to, like, scary things. But when you look at things like color theory is not what I'm talking about, but it's what I said. So there's meaning to color. Color has a psychological influence on us. For example, red tends to make us feel anger, frustration, or love, lust, passion. Like, that's kind of the colors of red. And when it comes down to red in regards to fear, or like to horror, you have blood, gore, viscera. Like, those are red colored organs and red colored things. So red naturally is a little more scary. And then you have green, in contrast, is at most it's eerie. It's a subtle discomfort. So it still can be scary, but it's not. Yeah. Like, the absolute simplest way to describe it is that. Because green, anytime I use it in a horror setting, which I haven't done a lot of horror art, surprising. As somebody who loves horror movies and horror content, I don't draw a lot of horror. Fuck it. Even though that did get rid of my savage secret. Maybe I should have just risked the 50-50-ish. I also think the sound design is a lot creepier for that well in particular compared to the Reach as well. Or maybe it's because I already was aware of the Reach as well and what it was like for longer. Okay. Well, we have 5 invitation. Wrong button. invitations for it, specifically for questline stuff, and we had 2 beforehand. Maybe I should swing by London to get some fuel. Yeah, I don't know what the eyes are still, other than that they are disconcerting every time they appear, even if they don't directly hurt us. No, not the eye icon. The, over by here where you're flying around and the eye will appear randomly. Like, just open in the sky. And I think they spawn some enemies. My guess is that they're just creatures in the mist. Oh. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know if that's a good idea. Wow, this music is tense. Or just terror. Okay. Well, that looked friendly. I feel like we treat Side too much like he's a unrepentant pervert. Because I feel like he isn't always a pervert. And isn't always horny. For disgusting in your brain, you immediately vomit and go to the... Ugh. Ugh. I don't really know what else to say about that other than ooh. I feel like that's not accurate. Because he hasn't been like that at all in the podcast. Although I do need to talk to him about his, kind of playing a German soldier in World War I era a little too much like, he shouldn't be playing that type of character. Because it is making people uncomfortable. I don't need those. No. Absolutely not. For immersion is a bullshit reason to allow things like that to happen. Sure, let's go with footwear. Port report. No. No, because I talked about it beforehand that he had to be careful of that. And, he's kind of playing a dangerous game at this point. I'm just exclusively lowering terror. I know all about the mysteries at this point. It is also important to note that we specifically, if we were going for the immersion's sake of that campaign, I would allow racism because it's the 1920s. And I said, absolutely fucking not, we're including that in this game. No, he's just been playing it as waiting for an excuse to kill somebody, and, he's playing a German soldier. During the era of World War I, he kinda has to be careful. I don't think that's actually the case. I think his character's actually got a high intelligence. Like, I could look at his character sheet. I have everybody's character sheet on, like, just on file, but I'd need to pull it open. Well, it's, like, subtle for people, but I've already know that there are people who are worried about that being a thing. So I'm kind of already being prepped mentally to pick up on more cues, but it is incredibly important that this specific is followed, because he is the guest character for the season. If he makes the regulars uncomfortable, then that's not okay. Because the regulars are all IRL friends, whereas Side is an online friend. No, it's just that his immediate response to being followed by some strange person is, let me pull out my gun and shoot them in the middle of the street in America. Which, you know, you're playing a German soldier post-World War I. You aren't considered as much a villain after World War I as if it were after World War II. But you kind of need to be careful. Well, he needs to play up like he's shell-shocked better then. Because, like, coming up with an excuse is easier than like, having an actual reason. Yeah, but Jazz, again, you wouldn't choose to play an ex-German soldier sniper in the 1920s. See, those are things that are actually in the will not be allowed at this table list. Because one character who's a murder hobo is fine. The whole party, no. But going with physical or psychological torture, yeah, no. Oh, we found the Avid Horizon. Shit. Two vast, winged statues guard the avid horizon. The door through which Lundorers pass from the neath into the wild. Oh, this is that location that's usually in the top north area of Sunless Seas. No. If you flat out murder people who are not clearly trying to do the same, or there isn't like a good reason behind it, because like, if you're talking to somebody and they're a nice person, I wouldn't allow you to kill them, even if I know out of character, or like, even if I know as the game master this person is a serial killer, all the information you have is that they are a normal human being who's kind of nice. Now, if later you find out about the serial killerness, then we can talk. I wouldn't allow a serial killer in my games, personally. So, like, that's the other thing that a lot of game masters, DMs, game runners, chronicle keepers, whatever the fuck system you're using, whatever they call it, you can say no to a player's idea. Well, Jazz, to be frank, I wouldn't put you in a game. I wouldn't invite you to a season of the podcast unless it was something that would need somebody who could do killing. Like when we did that one shot of Vampire the Masquerade that was supposed to be a stream after that, and then literally nobody else was fucking responding to the, hey, can we do it this day stuff. Was fine because you killed drug dealers and you had to consume blood because you were a vampire. I wouldn't be opposed to a guest as long as it's a mini season. I wouldn't allow that for a full season because a full season is 10 plus episodes. And the longer you have that as a, like, ticking time bomb in the campaign, the more likely it is to go off in a bad way. So that's kind of the main thing. I mean, the best moment from that one shot, or one-off I'm going to call it, is Side pissing off the one person who was literally built as an endgame boss for a campaign. So they literally picked him up and essentially chokeslammed him so hard his spine shattered. So that was very funny. And then he got bloodbound, and that is not a thing you want to have happen in Vampire the Masquerade. And, you know, the next season of the podcast, like full season instead of mini seasons between the seasons, is going to be up to vote on the system as well as the setting that we'll take for that season. Well, he died, and it was the one-off, and I kind of needed him in the party still because we fucking needed a party. So he got revived by the princess of the domain, even though technically the title's prince. I realize that, but princess is what I don't follow prince for male or female. I use prince or princess, and then if they're non-binary, I go with whichever they think would be fun. But I use that as a way to revive them so that they weren't dead, because we were gonna do it for a stream and I kind of needed players alive. But unfortunately, it never happened because nobody was fucking responding to the, hey, let's try and do it this day. Hey, how about this time frame? Because, like, you know, you kind of need people to be there. Well, this was a while ago. This isn't even related to the current season. It was like my first attempt to do streams of TRPGs. And didn't go well, but then our podcast, which I just need to commission somebody to edit the season 0 stuff because I don't want to. It's 4 hours per recording. That's a lot of time just for a listen through to figure out what editing you're gonna do. Yeah, you're the only one who did real combat because Side got immediately destroyed. Anyway, it does not open. A wooden mooring post has been hammered into the ice before the watchers. It is a gesture towards a tradition from before the wilderness, from a sunless sea, when the condemned could beg for forgiveness on the most distant shore. This was only ever a place to pass through, never a destination. Bitter, cold rhymes ever surface. A merciless wind passes with an effort, enough even your sky suit, your flesh, your lungs. You will not stay here long. Yeah, and then you wanted to try and do something. And I was like, you need to tell me what you're trying to do. No, you need to tell me what you were trying to do specifically. But you just were like, I do this thing. You never gave me a concrete how you're going to help. So I put a timer up and I was like, okay, tell me how you're helping. And you're just like, oh no, I help. And the thing is, I help this person in situations like that. You need to give me specifics of like, oh, I try and catch him, or oh, I try and stop her from slamming him down. You know, you have to do something specific. We'll give supplies. I'm fine with it. Savage secret? Okay. Every so often, the gentlemen visit the avid horizon in their black engines. They collect those whose confessions they've accepted and take them back to Pan. As you place your crate down, the man presses close and beckons you down to his level. He spits out his crime. Perhaps a payment, perhaps he needs to say it out loud. Or perhaps he just wanted to burden another. His voice is a hoarse as murder. Up there's the port, it's up north. Oh, fuck me. The sky is wrong. This is not where you were meant to be. Was it a trick of the mists? Has a wind carried you astray? Have the heavens themselves turned on their axis? There goes some fuel. Run on my mic, so when I said yeah, so, but, I mean, that was a one-off. That world that was kind of started to be introduced is still there. It's something I will use for mini-seasons or a full season in the future. So it's not like the stuff I did was gonna go to waste. It just goes into the backlog of things to use, which is a useful thing to do if you run TRPGs especially. If your party ends up ignoring something you had planned, you had built for, let them ignore it, go with what they decide to do, and save what you were going to do for later. Either the next session or somewhere down the road, or for another campaign altogether, because it's useful to have multiple options of things you can do. Okay. We do not need hours. Oh, fun. They don't have fuel here. The Avid Horizon consists of 3 pods. Did I already read this? No. The home office clinging to a pillar of ice. The gate through which Londoners enter the sky, flanked by the towering statues. In the quiet sea, where waters are home to those left behind. Yeah, it was weird. The very edge of the high wilderness, the border between now and then, here and there, the skies and earth. The few lonely buildings of the port face the great gate of the avid horizon, bordered by two vast winged statues. The gate towers over the shrouded sea that divides the port and the gate. The other side of the gate opens far beneath the earth, on the bleak shore of a subterranean sea. London rested there for a while Her Majesty was indisposed with grief. A handful of years ago, though, she led an exodus of Londoners through the avid horizon and into the sky. You were among them. Do you remember how you came to this place? As for is this hell? No. Because hell is a location from beneath, which I don't know if it made its way where we're at. Quite the opposite? Oh, well, guess I was wrong. Hell is still underneath. Okay. The Knotted Sock were among the last to leave Old London. They lived in a rookery called Old Downey. It was draughty and it creaked, but it was home. As the exodus gathered pace, though, panic swept the city. Though there were riots, there were fires. One of the fires claimed Old Downey, burning it down. Homeless, the Knotted Sock squeezed onto the last of the refugee ships. Weeks later, through the northern ice and the dark beneath the world, you reached the gate. Its statues loomed like giants. The door was open, and the space within was filled with suns and stars and light. Perhaps a new home lay on the other side. Okay. The Home Office occupies a stately, albeit crumbling, manor house on the edge of an icy precipice high above the quiet sea. Once, thousands passed through its elegant halls on their way into Albion. The gate is closed now, though, and it has been for over a year. No one comes through. Ow, I just bit my lip. And no one leaves. I'm not sure if living in the Neath or in the skies would be worse. Now only a skeleton crew staffs it, and only a handful of incomers remain, stuck here waiting for pardons or permission that never came. Her renewed majesty has a long memory. The few bureaucrats stationed at the avid horizon for one department's sin or another resides in desperate melancholy. Those detained within the fated confines of the bureau are almost reconciled to their fate, listlessly hoping for a reprieve from London that will likely never come. Beyond the bureau, the sea and the sky lingers like morning mist. Exiles dwell there on tethered ships strung together, dwarfed by the eternal and uncaring statues that mark the gate to the home that cannot be returned to. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Oh my god. The acting senior probator is responsible for monitoring all of those trapped at the Home Office. The detainees forbidden entry to Albion, with no way back through the gate. He sits behind a little desk in the echoing hallway of the manor. He keeps 3 things on his desk: a wind-up clock and 2 battered mugs. He surveys you coolly. You're welcome to take a look around, though we have precious little in the way of diversions. Have you been out to the flotilla? I must ask you not to pay too much attention to the cultists. Well, we found another cult. And if you have not, I'd recommend staying away. There are good reasons they were never allowed into Albion. A satisfactory scientific answer is yet to be presented. Theories have sprouted like mushrooms in its place. Some say that when the gate was opened, the Untersee spilled through, filled the sky like a leaky tap fills a sink, until Her Majesty's government was able to plug it. Others believe the sea to be variously the efflua of the murdered sun, amniotic fluid to support the generation of a new sun. The fault of the Royal Society, an industrial accident covered up by one of the work worlds. The tears of Her renewed Majesty for her dead prince. To reach the sea now, one must travel to the stair to the sea, among the ice shelf from the Home Office. Well, that sounds friendly. So good you're here, Captain. He clasps your hand. His skin is cold. I've been issued an imperial pardon from London for one of our detainees here. He looks at the 3 nearest guests of the Home Office, who are following the conversation intently. Just the one, mind. Produce demands that someone cannot be pardoned without an independent witness vouching for them. It'd be highly inappropriate for me to do so. He gives you a beseeching look. If you would help, do speak to them, those 3. Return to me when you've made your choice. Oh my god. Ugh. We really are. The 3 detainees signaled out by the acting senior probator have taken over one of the interview rooms. The aristocrat is contorted like a condemned cat over a ruined armchair. The courtier sits on the windowsill, a cup of tea rattling in her hair. Wow, I stuttered a lot in this, or slurred my words a lot in this one. I've only had 1 glass of wine. Which means I've not even really hit a buzz. So that's unfortunate. The courtier sits on the windowsill, a cup of tea rattling in her hands. The nun occupies a stiff-backed chair and is reading something decidedly ungodly. She shuts a small hand mirror as you approach. Graying. I had a lovely mane when I arrived here. Red as June, they used to say. I was hoping to see the suns, but I suppose the palace hasn't forgotten. An MP I am acquainted with had promised it was all water under the bridge. He summons a dazzling smile as you approach. Oh, at last, my captain. May I call you my captain? He does not wait for a response. It's been a dreadful mix-up. I have a twin brother in London, you see. Terrible sort. Rather ruined my reputation with Her Majesty. Mm-hmm. Sure. She looks down her cigarette at you and sighs. If I could have gone home by now, I would have. Nothing worth this much bloody waiting, pardon my inferior. Was gone to stay in a convent in the mausoleum, but that's been a bastard? Bastard doesn't feel like the right word for that whole. Reasons. The only one who doesn't piss me off is the quarter. Her eyes widening as you announce your decision. She bounces from her seat to embrace you. For the second time in my life, Captain, I am willing to say... sad? Okay. Sad Dekrum. The aristocrat pales and fixes you with a gaze of murderous as any dark and midnight bag. The nun merely lights up again. The acting senior probator thanks you profusely before handing the former courtier her imperial pardon. And we got a cryptid benefactor for it. We have 3 of those. Let's go. Peering... no. They can't actually do that, luckily, I think. I say that and I might actually be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we can't. Peering into the wisp of white mist that dance across the shrouded sea, you can make out a few bouts drifting towards the gate. Its statues are hidden, aside from a few pinpricks of light dancing near their crowns. Below the office, the shoreline is clogged with rotten flowers and ruined offerings from the cultists that live on the sea. Perhaps they were rejected. Perhaps they were never received. Okay, here's the thing. I don't want to give up the devil because we probably will be returning to the Reach soonish. Okay, I don't feel like we have much chance to do much, so we're just going to save. 20 minutes doesn't feel like enough time to do something. Yeah. And again, no stream tomorrow. I am playing in a TRPG that my friend runs. And, yeah. Well, I need where we're raiding Jazz. Because I can't raid without the destination. And for people in Discord server, Thursday I will be watching Season 2 of Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers specifically. Okay. Is that the spelling it has for their channel? Okay. It has begun. Yep. And, oh. I need a... No, that's the right YouTube link for the VODs. And there's nothing else on the other YouTube channel, so it doesn't need to be in socials right now. Oh, I still need to add the podcast link to it. Okay. So, while we're kind of ticking down the raid, I'm gonna go ahead and get the YouTube link for that. It is... The raid is about to go. Is it this one? Yep. Have fun.